All right, what's up, guys? AW Aaron Waterman. Late Monday night, I saw the Mandalorian trailer. The second trailer. And getting quite cold in my room, so excuse me. Getting a blanket. Uh, where's my stupid little phone? I hope you all had a good day today. I know it's a holiday in the States, so I hope you had a good holiday in the States, my American viewers. Okay, so yeah, yeah, this is a topic, very interesting topic, right, guys? 11 o'clock. I know some of you watching MME. I know, but I've been holding off the stream for a few days, and I need to get out of the way because tomorrow I'm doing another stream, which I'll be announcing right here. So tomorrow, Last of Us episode 1, spoiler 1 review stream will be tomorrow, and that'll be happening every Tuesday for the show, for the series. So yeah, so once again tomorrow, come join me for Last of Us spoiler review stream. Blind Bill will be on it, and do me a favor, if you played the game, I guess it's technically spoiled for you, but if you haven't, do just a reminder, please see the show first so it can make the conversation more interesting. Unless you don't care about being spoiled, okay? If you don't care about spoiling, watch the stream. If you do care about being spoiled, do not watch the stream tomorrow, okay? Okay, thank you. And nobody's really watching right now. Come on, guys. Leave me a like. Hell no, I'm not streaming about the Gotham Knights trailer. And I'm. Okay, so main subject here. I'm not gonna go long. Okay, I don't want to go long. It's 11 o'clock. Okay. Okay. My friend George last week. You know what? I'm gonna invite him on. If he wants to come on, I can invite him. No. 1-1, George. Okay, 1-1. There we go. Okay, my friend George. He did a stream about last Tuesday, Wednesday, about Spider-Man news, about the Black Cat thing. How Sony doesn't want the Marvel Cinematic Universe to use Black Cat, and they're gonna make their own Black Cat movie. And that got me interested, got me thinking. And what villains with Marvel, not Marvel because it's all Marvel. What villains with Sony and MCU allowed to use? Obviously, Sony always has the right to say yes or no to override everything because technically they own the movie rights to all the Spider-Man related property, right? So they can say no. And Sony. Sony's hard to deal with, especially they're very protective of Spider-Man. They're never gonna let go of their rights, right? They're always gonna want to make something Spider-Man related because they want the rights to be going on and on renewing, right? Because it makes money for them. So obviously they're not going to give the MCU full control, and they're gonna keep making their own Spideyverse, their own universe. Evident in Morbius. Morbius is pretty much confirmed that they're kind of trying to maybe move away from Tom Holland's universe. Okay. And yeah, and yes, and let's be honest, the Spider-Man movies from Sony's side of things have not exactly, besides MCU related Sony stuff, has not exactly been hit out of the ballpark kind of stuff. Been exactly good, and not more like the opposite. Morbius, especially Morbius, is really really bad. I mean, that was a trash movie all the way around. The story is bad. Everything was bad. The jokes were bad. The after credit scene was terrible. It was just really, really a horrible movie all around. There was nothing you could say it was good about it. Really, there's nothing that was good. Really, I can't even think of one good thing about that movie. Only one person watching. That's so sweet of you guys. So very sweet. Oh, thank you for the extra like, the third like, whatever. Now it's really all about Spider-Man 4 seems like it's gonna happen. But that's Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? And we know in the Sonyverse they're already doing a Craven the Hunter movie, which comes out this year, in October of this year. And also they're gonna do Madam Reb. Yeah, Madam Reb, Dakota Johnson, Sydney Sweeney. They're gonna do Al Morte. I think that's what it's called. Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny starting. And they're gonna do Hypno Hustler, with Donald Glover. And we all know Venom 3 is happening with a first time director. Okay, and I have no like most people, I really don't know who that is. Okay, now if you look at the Tom Holland Spider-Man in the first movie, we had the Vulture, right? Now he's a Morbius. He got multiverse stuff. Vulture, right? We had a Vulture, which is Shocker, who didn't amount to anything. There's Matt Gargan, who become Scorpion. There's Tinker, right? Who works on tech. Also, there's Don Glover, the Prowler. Aaron. I don't know if it's Aaron Davis, I believe. We know that, right? And then we got Far From Home, where she basically Mysterio was the villain. Mysterio was like the only villain we got to see in that movie. And then in No Way Home, technically we didn't get to see a new villain from the universe that Tom Holland Spider-Man. We got the villains from the Sam Raimi's universe, the his Spider-Man, and in the Amazing Spider-Man universe, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. So we got Green Goblin, William Dafoe, Doctor Octopus by oh shit, Doctor Octopus. Oh, I had it in my shit. Okay, Sandman, Thomas Hayden Church, Electro, Michael J. Fox, Alfred Molina as Doctor Octopus, and also finally the Lizard. Yeah, yeah, I if wearing stuff like that. So we got six, and so from those all those movies, we got the Vulture, Shocker. Okay, Vulture, Shocker, Mysterio, Lizard, Scorpion, Sandman, Electro, Green Goblin, Dark Octopus, and so on and so on. That's really a lot of his rogues gallery, and the ones you obviously think of top of your head, right? Of Spider-Man's rogue gallery. So those are the ones you obviously think of top of your, along with Rhino. But Rhino wasn't that. Rhino was not in that movie. Also, you got Hobgoblin possibly there, you know. But obviously, most of the top, the ones, most of the rogue galleries you know that are more well known, they really use in the MCU, okay, or in Sony, MCU and Sony. Using Sony and MCU in MCU because you know like Sam Raimi and Mark Webb's Spider-Man are technically Sony and they're part of a different universe, right? Yeah. So it got me thinking, really thinking, while I'm checking my phone. I'm sorry, I'm checking my phone. It really got me thinking, okay? And I'm tired, guys. I am tired. So shush. It got me thinking. What villains would you like to see and would suggest? And who? What villains would MCU and Sony go for? The Sony verse. I can't really think of a lot off the top of my head. I really wish I had people on talking with me, give me their ideas. I know it's late. I know MME Max has a show. Okay, George, did Max end? I really need somebody to talk with. Really. So I got a few ideas. And where's Blind Bro? Okay. I'm gonna send links. I need people. I want Tony wanna come on? Tony wanna come on? See, that's why I take a break from this. See, hello George.
Hey, Aaron.
Yeah, too many people. Is there a lot of fighting in that stream?
No, it's not a lot of fighting, but I know Jarbo was about to start speaking soon. And it's like I know I'm not going to get another chance to speak for the rest of the night.
Or
So
who's
I,
in the
so I
stream?
guess, um, me, Max, Jarbo, Axel, Tony, Justin, Caden, Blue JCJH.
Uh, half that.
Anthony, and Anthony.
Half of that
Yeah, so
sounds
it's
fun.
like, so yeah, I was like, and I was on for 2 hours, so I was like, oh, perfect time for me to bounce.
Uh,
So I can, but yeah, I can stay on here for a little bit because
yeah, I'm not gonna go long. I'm probably end at midnight, maybe a little after. Like I don't want to go long. It's before. Did you see the Mando trailer?
yeah. Oh, that looked really good. I did enjoy the Mando trailer.
It's okay. It didn't really excite me. I actually think the first one. I think I like the first one better. Well, but yeah, welcome to. This is your fault, man. You got me thinking. You made a stream about Spider-Man a week ago, and you got me thinking for making a stream. I blame you
Yeah,
for it.
I've been thinking of doing another one later this week.
Okay, you saw Last of Us?
No, I didn't watch that yet.
Oh, because I was asking if you could have joined me and Blind Bill tomorrow, but if you haven't seen it, I don't want you like to be spoiled because it will
Yeah,
be
no.
spoiled. So that's a warning.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, I
yeah.
gotta watch it.
So, so where was I? So if you think about Sony and MCU have used lots of Spider-Man's rogue gallery, and the ones you always can think off the top of your head, really, the majority of the more popular rogue gallery they really use, and there's not a lot you can think of left they can use. I mean, they've used in the first Spider-Man movie, No Way Home. No, not No Way Home.
Homecoming.
Homecoming. They had like 4 or 5 different villains. They had Shocker, they had Scorpion, Vulture, the Tinker, the Prowler. No Way Home, not No Way Home. Far From Home just had Mysterio. No Way Home had all the 6 from the 5 from the previous Spider-Man movies, and they're all very popular, like well-known villains. It doesn't leave much for who what well-known villains did Spider-Man use in his move in Spider-Man 4, the MCU, or even even the other universe that involves Morbius and Carnage and Venom, eventually Madame Web or like Craven. Else can he use? There's only a few I can think of the top of my head, like Hobgoblin. It's one of them.
Yeah, it's like Sony has really limited the amount of villains,
Yes, they have.
which
It's
is a shame because it's like, I mean, I understand like them after throwing like a lot of the multiverse villains in the third film, them not doing like MCU takes on like Doc Ock, maybe Green Goblin and Electro because like it's kind of hard to like top those performances. But it's like at the same time, it's like Spider-Man still has so many other villains that you can do, like Craven, like Morbius, like Venom. But like the separate universe thing, and I think, and I might have, and I think I mentioned this. I don't know if it was on my stream from last week or another stream from last week. I don't know if you heard the rumors of them kind of holding off on giving Peter Parker the symbiote until like Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars or like after that.
Yeah, I heard about
I
that.
think part of that is because like because the Venom films are still going on and it looks like and maybe they're waiting for Venom 3 to come out to like finally do the black suit in the MCU.
Yeah, they are doing Venom 3. That's been confirmed. Is ah, the director is actually the writer for Venom 2, I believe. If I'm correct. It's a first time director. Venom 3. Let me make sure. That worries me. That kind of worries me. Directed by Kelly Marcel. Yeah, Kelly Marcel is the director. It's female. Okay, it's female. That doesn't matter to me. That okay. Screenplay and story by, and she wrote Venom. Here's the problem. Okay, she just wrote Cruella, right? Okay, Cruella's been well received, but the director has written 50 Shades of Grey. Okay, that's not a good thing. She has written Venom, which made a lot of money. The first one made a lot of money. There's no denying that. But you know, a lot of people didn't like that movie. It wasn't written well either. And Venom, to be clear, while I did like it, it wasn't a very well written movie either. And now she's directing the third movie. I'm concerned about Venom 3. This is
Yeah, Venom 3. I don't
this
really have that much high hopes because honestly, like, what direction can you go with Venom 3?
I don't know. It just doesn't sound promising with her. Doesn't sound. It just doesn't sound promising. With her directing it behind the chair, unless they get somebody who could write better than her, and she could just direct or whatever. Like, I don't know. Yeah, you could be right. That whole No Way Home after credit scene, that was just a gag. I know they want to get the Black Symbiote into the MCU, but I really thought they should have kept Tom Hardy's Venom into the MCU, and then he go back to his universe at one point instead of just him just being the reason why the symbiote's in the MCU because of at the bar. I think that was really that really did not make me happy. I was happy in That There Be Carnage when the whole universe, the whole thing happened in this hotel room, like in Hawaii or wherever, and you see Tom Holland Spider Man on the TV. I like that, but then they kind of ruined it at No Way Home.
Yeah, because it's like you it looked like they were setting up Spider-Man versus Venom.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yeah. That's what I thought. Oh my God, Venom's going to go after Spider Man, and we knew in No Way Home Venom wasn't going to be the main protagonist in No Way Home. We knew that, right? We knew Venom was not going to be the protagonist in No Way Home because No Way Home came a few months after Venom 2, right? But I thought we have like a small role in it at least, like or something like that. Instead of being after credit scene, he could have been after credit scene, just not that kind of after credit scene. We thought we could have Spider-Man versus Venom. That could have been Spider-Man 4, really.
Yeah.
Really, but they just had to get the symbiote into the MCU, where they couldn't find another way. Like in some universes, the symbiote is not alien created.
Oh, I know.
And then we got like months later, we got Morbius, and like I know Isaac loves that movie, but that was horrible and did not make sense. The Vulture and like Morbius is like Vulture's like let's go after Spider-Man, and Morbius is like okay, and I'm like saying to the film like why does Morbius have against Spider-Man? What does Spider-Man do to Morbius?
Yo, like here's the thing, like Morbius could also like fit in a Spider-Man Blade movie.
Oh yeah, very much.
It's just so weird, and especially because like now we did get an update on what could a rumor about like Spider-Man 4, which is kind of why I want to like do that stream like at some point later this week about like possible like stories for a future Spider-Man movie. I feel like now like that maybe this maybe this explains why we're getting these like scoops of like Black Cat and like all this other stuff because this project's getting worked on like sooner rather than later.
Hey, Blind Boy, you free to come on? If you, I sent you a link. Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, we talk why they it's the black cast. You don't need the sexual assault thing. If that's the reason why, if that's the reason why Sony is not willing to get black at MCU, then that's really stupid. Because we don't really need that storyline. Really, we don't need that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I noticed about Sony's movies that are not like Spider-Man movies. They feel like comic book movies that could have gotten a pass in the 2000s.
They are.
Like think about it. Morbius to me felt like a movie that would have most likely came out in the
Same with
2000s.
Venom. Both Venoms.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
the thing is like I like they need the MCU way more than the MCU needs them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, the MCU needs them because they want Spider-Man, they need Spider-Man, but it's like they've had success before Spider-Man came
They
into
need they need Spider-Man now more than ever because he's really like the most popular character. Because Iron Man's gone, like Captain America. I mean, Captain America's still around, but it's not Steve Rogers. And we don't know how long some of the other characters. We don't know how long Thor's going to be around or other. They need Spider-Man more than now than ever in the MCU
but
because
remember,
really, he's the
but
most popular character.
also remember like Sony was struggling
Mm-hmm.
box office wise with their Man movies and Marvel movies until the MCU deal, and they're still struggling without that MCU connection. Like that's basically been it. They're $2 billion Marvel films were MCU Spider-Man movies.
Mm-hmm.
Homecoming before Far From Home and No Way Home came out was the second highest grossing Spider-Man movie, only behind Spider-Man 3.
Yeah,
So like they made a lot of their money because of the MCU deal.
I remember. I
Because
remember.
the Amazing Spider-Man movies didn't do as well as I think Sony had hoped. Uh, Into the Spider-Verse, even though it's a phenomenal movie, is the lowest grossing Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, well, Spider-Man 2's box office. I mean, Spider-Man's 2 box office, right? I mean,
Spider
that movie. How did it
Here's the
do?
thing: the Raimi movies did great in the box office.
Yeah.
Then the Amazing movies came out, and the first one did fine, but it was like the lowest grossing Spider-Man movie at the time, I think.
Amazing Spider-Man 758. Yes.
Yeah,
2012.
and then Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out, and that had a higher budget, and it underperformed.
709. It made less than the first movie, yes. Because that had terrible word of mouth. It was not a good Spider-Man movie. Like, and you know what? And it came out 2012, and the MCU was flourishing then, right? Like Marvel Cinematic Universe was flourishing. That's when Avengers came out. Dark Knight Rises came out that year, and the Dark Knight Rises wasn't really good, but Dark Knight Rises made a lot of money.
Yeah,
I think Dark Knight Rises made over $1 billion, if I'm correct.
yeah, it did make over $1 billion. It made more than The Dark Knight did. I think
Yes, it
it
did.
was the highest grossing DC movie until Aquaman or something.
It barely made more than. Yeah, it did make more than the Dark Knight, and I think that once the MCU was going around, starting to be built, that universe, we got Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, then we got the Avengers that time, and like people were like, and then we got announced the Guardians, the Ant Man, the Age of Ultron. You got the other characters coming out. People were like, we want to see Spider Man in this. We want to see Spider Man in the MCU. 'Cause I remember, like to me, Spider Man is the end was so look Civil War was the answer to BVS, right? But that wouldn't have worked if they didn't get Spider Man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Spider Man, like no matter how Spider Man is no matter how successful the MCU is, like, it is very successful. Not denying that it's a juggernaut. Spider Man was a juggernaut without the MCU, and
Yeah,
yes, it did underperform. but 700 million is still pretty good. Still pretty good. Like it's not terrible, but to them is
Well,
to
also
them is
here's the thing.
underachieved.
I feel like they had no direction with their Spider-Man movies before the MCU deal because remember that like that plot for the Amazing Spider-Man 3 where like people were gonna come back from the dead.
They were planning a bunch of they were planning a bunch of spin-offs from that. They were planning a Sinister Six, Black Cat, Silver Sable.
And I
What
think
if
that's why people wanted
yes.
Andrew Garfield to continue in that universe because it was like that was the original plan. But it's like, why give the man who seemed the most passionate about Spider-Man like the worst like franchise? Because for regardless of how you feel about Spider-Man 3, the first two Spider-Man movies are phenomenal movies. Tom Holland's in the MCU, and all three of his MCU Spider-Man movies have been rated positively.
Mm-hmm.
Like forget what people say on Twitter about like Iron Boy Jr. and like the Spider-Man movie debate. Those movies were well received by critics and general audiences.
And Amazing Spider-Man 1, the first one was an amazing movie.
It was a good movie.
Yeah. It's I know.
I think the thing was Amazing Spider-Man 2 was so bad,
It was.
it hurt the Amazing Spider-Man movie brand more so than Spider-Man 3 hurt the Sam Raimi's trilogy brand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Spider-Man 3 did not hurt this brand of Spider-Man, really. Really. Because they were still making video games and the video games still did very well. There were still people collecting Spider-Man comics. Still people were into Spider-Man. It did not really hurt Spider-Man as a brand. Maybe for movies it did for a while. 5 years, 2007, 2012, right? 5 years,
Yeah.
right? With Batman, like, here's the thing: a lot of people think the band BVS hurt the Batman brand. It didn't hurt the Batman brand at all. I don't think. I don't think it hurt Batman's brand. I think Superman's brand was hurt before Zack Snyder got his hands on it. I think the New 52 hurt Superman's brand.
Yeah, I think with Superman, you gotta remember
Yeah.
Superman Returns made Superman look boring.
Yes, and that really hurt him too. Yeah, and yes, that movie. Yeah, you know what? You can go far back and say Superman Returns really made it hurt his brand. And the Dark Knight Rises did not hurt Batman's brand. The games are still good. Arkham Knight was still good. I mean, the Dark Knight Rises came out, but the Arkham games are still good.
And
Origins was good.
thing is, like, even though like some fans sour on Dark Knight Rises, like people still prefer that movie way more than BVS.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that movie still like audiences still are view that movie as more favorable than unfavorable. Like like it like for them than BVS, even though that movie's technically longer than the theatrical version of BVS.
Hmm. Yeah. Us. So there's people saying that BVS hurt the Batman brand. No, it did not hurt Batman's brand. Batman's safe like Spider-Man. Okay.
Here's saying I think like Batman and Spider-Man have strong enough brands.
Yeah.
Like the brand that I think is really shaken is Superman.
I 100% agree.
Because
Superman.
here's the thing, Spider-Man and Batman still have the video games to like save them. They have the many shows to help them. To me, I think where Spider-Man's more shaken up right now is in the comics.
Yeah.
That like the comics I think is where he's shaken up, but it's like as far as like other media goes, he's fine.
It's, it's the New 52 made Superman angry. And then Zack Snyder turned me depressed. I remember that. But it was before that. Like,
It's crazy. The one place where I think Superman's right now is at his strongest is Superman and Lois, the CW show.
yes.
Like that's one of the better CW shows, which is
And you,
weird because CW usually isn't that great with its DC stuff.
and you know what? They write Superman or slash Clark very well. He hit what he is, what his impersonation of Superman is actually very close to what Superman is really supposed to be like in the comics and stuff. You know.
And
Oh.
here's the I just recently like rewatched I watched like half of it last night and half of it this morning before I went to work. The original like Superman from 1978, and I'm like, this is still to me the best Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
Yeah.
get it, there might be a few things that are outdated with the movie, but it's like this felt like what Superman should feel like.
I hope James Gunn delivers it on like
Yeah.
something similar to that.
Well,
No,
before I came on here, like we were like talking a little bit about that on Max's stream,
I
and
know
like
the video he made about.
there's rumors that apparently the slate could get announced as early as this week.
Well, Grace said that. I remember
So
Grace.
like Grace, like, but it's like to me, the way James Gunn can deliver with this slate is announcing Superman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I also think like he can also do an even bigger thing by announcing a Green Lantern project, but I don't want to get like too off topic. But yeah, like to me, Spider-Man back to Spider-Man. Spider-Man's brand is strong and there's confidence in it.
Yeah.
And the fact that like Sony is confident enough to have like basically like these next few years a Spider-Man movie come out. You got two animated movies coming out this year and next year, and
Two Ant-Man movies.
it looks like we could get Spider-Man 4, Tom Holland Spider-Man 4, 2025. That's
Yeah,
what they're
that's the rumor.
saying. Now
It's
maybe it could come out in 2024, but I'm looking at 2025 as more likely because you already got Beyond the Spider-Verse coming out.
2024. They're not going to release Spider-Man 4 because they already have, and that's going to be an MCU movie. They have 4 MCU movies planned for
Yeah.
that.
And
Four.
Sony's already got a Spider-Man movie in Beyond the Spider-Verse for that.
Yeah. So 2024, not as I don't think it's going to get Spider-Man 4. 2025, possibly. 2025 will only have. Well, actually, if the rumor is true, we might. Because right now nothing's really changed. It's just rumors. Right now it's Kang Dynasty in Fantastic Four, but Kang Dynasty might get moved to a year after, and I wouldn't be shocked at all.
I think it's gonna get moved a year after because the rumor is that they also want to get another Shang-Chi movie
and Eternals
or Kang
and
Dynasty.
Doctor Strange.
The same rumor said that like Doctor Strange could possibly come out in 2026 before Kang Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
If Kang Dynasty gets
moved.
And also they're making it sound like Eternals is gonna come out in between Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. Maybe like the multiverse is the time they finally decide to like intervene in something. I don't know.
I don't know how the Eternals fit the multiverse though.
I don't know. Maybe like whatever Kang does in Kang Dynasty is big enough for them to say we got to interfere.
I feel like everything in this next phases don't always fit the multiverse saga. I don't think Eternals to me really fit the multiverse saga. I don't think like some of the movies we saw in Phase 4. I don't think overall fit the multiverse saga.
Well,
like some of them do. Some of them do, some of them don't.
What we're gonna see in Phase 5 is more connectivity, and I know people are gonna say, well, what about some of the stuff like Thunderbolts and Captain America: New World Order? To me, I think that's gonna be your grounded story arc, similar to how the Hydra stuff was the grounded story arc in the Infinity Saga, because the grounded stuff can still affect how the team operates in Kang Dynasty.
Yes.
Because New World Order, supposedly, if the rumor's true, Sam Wilson's going to form a new Avengers team. So, if he forms a new Avengers team, like that could be like the team that they send to fight Kang, and that team may not win.
The problem is which Kang.
Exactly. So it's like to me, I feel like for people who are complaining about the more grounded stuff, it's like the grounded stuff does play a big role in what kind of team we could get going into Kang Dynasty. Same thing with like Armor Wars. Like if they're serious about doing West Coast Avengers, that's another one where
Armor Wars is supposed to be getting moved up. That's what the rumor is.
Yeah, that's another one that might come out in 2025.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's because it's Don Cheadle's last movie. I think it's the last MCU project on his contract. I think he said that this year or last year he said Armor Wars is his last official movie on his MCU contract.
True. I think they might give him like a 2-film contract for King Dynasty and Secret Wars, but if
Yeah.
Armor Wars is not his last project, I think Secret Wars and King Dynasty could possibly be his last project.
I think Jeremy Renner's almost done. From what I'm
Yeah.
hearing, he's almost done too.
I
I mean,
mean, yeah,
not the injury aside.
yeah, I don't think that helps, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's probably
Guy's in his
almost done.
50s. Yeah, that's what I hear. That he's close to being done. And we don't know what Chris Hemsworth. It's because
Yeah.
it's because of his. He's taking a break from acting because of a certain gene that gives him Alzheimer's, but quicker, faster, like a higher risk of getting Alzheimer's. He doesn't, right?
Yeah, that could be why maybe like the rumors are starting to grow about Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans possibly returning, because it's like a lot of the remaining Avengers, like those actors, the only one that I think is 100% probably going to be in King Dynasty and Secret Wars is Hulk.
Yeah,
He's like the one that I think is nearly 100% guaranteed. I don't know what's going on with Chris Hemsworth's Thor. He could maybe appear, maybe like Chris Hemsworth will take a few years off, like, and he won't make any appearances until King Dynasty and Secret War. Because
yeah.
I mean, obviously, like you want to try and get him in there if Loki's gonna play a big role in King Dynasty and Secret War. But I don't know. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Jeremy Renner is not in either upcoming Avenger movie.
Yeah, I don't want him to. Don't let him die. Like let him retire officially.
Yeah,
Let him
like
be with his family.
I think obviously he's probably gonna retire.
Like some people have this fascination when somebody is done playing the role, they have to die. It happens in the Marvel movies, happens in DC movies, happens in CW. Like no. If they're just let them retire, be done playing the hero, let the actor be done, and then just have the character, retire, form a family, do whatever. You don't need to die. Like you find people have this way of like, oh, the way you find that people think like that at times.
And also, well, I'll put it in the private chat because I don't want to derail the stream. But like back to the whole like Spider-Man thing.
Don't worry, he's not here.
Yeah, no, the Spider-Man thing. Basically, like if they are serious about like MJ being the love interest in the upcoming film, maybe this 2025 release date is smart, because you can say this takes place 3 years after No Way Home, and you can say that's a good enough time gap to bring people back into Peter's life, or to see how Peter's life's been since No Way Home. Because that was my concern going into this film. Like, are they gonna undo the ending of No Way Home? And like,
I have a question. If that happened, would that magically transport Vulture back to the MCU universe?
What if someone remembers who Peter Parker is?
Or if because that means the spell backfires, right? Eventually backfires, or it doesn't, or it's like not a lasting spell. Either it backfires, eventually backfires, or the spell doesn't last.
See, it's like, here's the thing. That's what we don't really got a lot of detail about the spell.
No.
Which is kind of why I thought like maybe you could wait until after Secret Wars, because maybe something would happen in Secret Wars where things go back to normal, and that includes maybe like stuff with Peter Parker.
Yeah. What was that?
Like I don't know. Like they didn't really explain all that much. I will say I do think, like, for the 4th film, I think the villains that they should use are Kingpin and Scorpion, or one of them.
Oh yeah.
I think at this point, because like Marvel, like they need to like complete the credit scenes that they set up. They I think now's the time to utilize Scorpion. You know what? You can maybe have like Kingpin play a role in like creating Scorpion.
I think Spider-Man 4 is a good. I think we might get Daredevil in it.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be your big Marvel cameo.
Yeah, if if it's more grounded, Spider-Man, yeah, Daredevil, whoever else in New York, we could
Well,
make
here's the
it.
thing. I think the other likely person that could possibly appear is another grounded hero in Kate Bishop because she was in New York.
She does live in New York. Yeah, she's from New
So I
York.
can see her as another possible one, and like maybe she's there not just to help Spider-Man, but if she's part of the new Avengers, maybe she's trying to recruit Spider-Man and Spider-Man rejects it. Like kind of like an opposite of like what you saw in Homecoming where Peter Parker was trying to impress Tony Stark to join.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
one you can have like a hero that's around Peter's age trying to recruit him and Peter's rejecting it because
yeah,
of everything that's happened to him. So like
yeah.
I think that can be an interesting
Yeah, that could work.
because like Peter, like he's not Batman, but you can have him like be more hardened after all that's happened. And like Kate Bishop, who seems to be a more optimistic hero at the moment, like you can have that play off.
Yeah, I could see Peter team up Kate Bishop, both from New York.
But again, like I can see like Kate Bishop being the more excitable hero of the two, while Peter, while he still makes his quips, is kind of like
Mm-hmm.
because of everything that's happened to him, and maybe having like another hero that was once like him, maybe brings Peter back into society or like make him the Spider-Man that he once was.
Uh, yeah,
Like
yeah,
something different with him, like it with a Marvel team up. Like something like a bit different with Tom Holland's Spider-Man after everything he's been through.
yeah. The thing is, Spider-Man 4 will be his college years. Like I right. Spider-Man 4 will be his college. I kind of want to see. I know they're not going to do this, but I want to see Spider-Man when he's actually mid-20s. I don't want to see him still just such a young kid. I know he's college. Is technically you're not like a teenager anymore. You're so, like 18 to like 22, right? 4 years or
Yeah,
17 to 21. But to me, that's still kind of relatively young. I want to see him more a little bit later. I don't want to see him as a kid anymore. Really.
yeah. Like I want to like yeah.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't do anything about it. Am I echoing?
I don't hear the echo. I don't know. It could be because my headset or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Because I know for a little bit like Max was having that problem, but like the echo ended. So
Okay.
I don't know. I gotta change stuff around with my headset and like my new mic soon because this one's starting to go.
Yeah, I know. I know. Degrassi is pretty pissed off today.
But I still think Black Cat would have been a perfect fit for Spider-Man.
Yeah, have him a female fatale or something like that. And like, have him it's not have him her as a Catwoman. Basically, that's what she is. She is Catwoman for Spider Man. That's not a bad idea. And there's a whole story you could do around her. You don't need a sexual assault storyline from the comics. You don't need to adapt everything, especially that man. Like,
I mean, it's one thing if Sony's worried that they're gonna get accused of copying from the Batman, but it's like the thing is like you can do something different with Black Cat. You can have it where like Felicia's like one of the first friends Peter made after the memory spell, and it's like there's a and and like there's that dynamic where like Peter and Felicia, and then there's like the Spider-Man Black Cat
yeah,
like
she's
dynamic. You can do something like you don't have like you can still do that.
she's a yeah, she could be somebody to meet at college, university, and they talk, they flirt, they get close, they find out she's really she's really Black Cat. She has to chase her, she's robbing, but there's reasons why she's the Black Cat, right? She's not just doing it for the thrill. She's doing it because maybe she owes debt to some mob or something, some villain, or like, or for her father, because her father was a visual Black Cat. Yeah, like you're make her a more gray kind of character, like Selena was, like Kyle was.
Yeah, absolutely. So like and also I feel like Craven would have also been a perfect fit because you could have done like Craven's Last Hunt. And honestly, like I think like with Craven, because like people are still torn on Spider-Man, that would have been the perfect scenario. And
Mhm.
also like to me, like if you want like a storyline where like Craven like thinks he kills Spider-Man, you can use like the symbiote as a way for Spider-Man to like take down Craven after Craven supposedly kills him.
Oh yeah,
Like the symbiote's like the thing that gets Peter out of the grave. Like do something different.
you know what you could do?
I should be writing Marvel movies.
What they should do? They should have the lizard and have Craven chase down the lizard, and Peter has to stop Craven from trying to kill the lizard because the
Yeah.
lizard is Kurt Connors.
Well, one thing I would like to see in not just Spider-Man 4, but in this trilogy is like maybe Peter hears or meets like MCU versions of like Kirk Connors or hears the
Yeah,
MCU version of Otto Octavius and he thinks of how to prevent them from
um,
becoming villains.
if he's going to university, my Kurt Connors should be one of his professors,
Yeah.
and it's, you have Hobgoblin. I want to see Hobgoblin. It's yeah, I agree with Blind Umbrella. It's gonna be hard to do after Homecoming. It's gonna be hard. How do you do Hobgoblin? Like maybe he's a merc for the Kingpin or something. I
Or
don't
he
know.
could be like a rival like gang boss that like and like I'm not saying and like he can be like maybe someone that like he doesn't care who Spider-Man is like in the comics, he just wants to be like the big man of crime. But it's like Peter seeing a hooded guy on a glider gives him PTSD
Mm-hmm.
kind of scenario. Even though Hobgoblin may not care about unmasking Spider-Man.
No, yeah, and I think a really good villain, but I think I think a really good villain could be Sin Eater,
I also think Mr. Negative
Mister Negative. Yeah,
because here's the thing, I can see Peter like on the side continuing Aunt May's work at Feast, like being a volunteer at Feast, and like maybe he becomes close to Martin Lee,
yeah. Take
and like
inspiration from the game.
yeah, but obviously like do things different because like Aunt May's already dead, and it's like maybe he sees Martin Lee as like the new prominent adult figure in his life, and when he finds out, like he feels like betrayed.
He's Mister Negative. Yeah, that's a good choice.
And also, like, if you are and again, you can intervene, throw in like gang war stuff with that because he could be like a gang like boss,
Uh huh.
like the demons.
I think Sin Eater would be a good Daredevil villain though. Whew. Uh, I wonder. Yeah, Mister Negative, definitely. What else? You could Tombstone, Hammerhead. We don't know who's directing. They don't say. Like they just said Spider-Man 4 is happening. No, they didn't say who was directing it.
Yeah, oh
I
yeah,
don't
that's
think
the thing. Like, is John Watts even gonna come back? Let the guy
no.
out.
Yeah, he turned down. Well, he was supposed to do four, Fantastic Four, but he said no. He was going to do, but he stepped away from it.
Oh yeah, because he's also working on his Star Wars thing.
Yeah, it's no director. No, like it's gonna happen. It's just 2020. Okay, that's Tom Holland will be like 29 by then or 30.
Oh my goodness. That was
Really? Of course, was he?
yeah. It's I, also I will say this because I know like our friend Blind Braille like has made the suggestion of like having Matt Gargan be Venom. If the MCU doesn't do that, if they decide to like have their own Eddie Brock in there, I think like you should do something different with Eddie Brock in the MCU as well. Like do something what we haven't seen on film. So I don't know if you remember the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon
I have.
or like
Yeah.
read any of the Ultimate Spider-Man comics.
Mm-hmm. Was it
So
Harry Osborn Venom?
in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, I'm talking about
Yeah,
the
not the
so like
comics.
in the comics and in the Ultimate Comics and like Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon, Eddie Brock's like a friend of Peter's.
Oh yes, I know that.
He
Yes.
obviously you wouldn't do the childhood friend thing because if that was the case, Eddie would forget who Peter is. But like have it
It doesn't work.
where like Peter and Eddie like maybe meet each other and like they bond over having no one left in their lives and like they find out that like their parents died in the same plane crash or something like similar to
Yeah.
like Spectacular Spider-Man and they become like friends. But
Hmm.
like maybe like something happens where Eddie Brock becomes like starts to hate Peter or resent Peter, maybe around the black suit arc,
Yeah.
and then like that's what rages Venom. And like instead of like having like Ned be the villain, like Ned was joking around, or like if you're gonna have an MCU Harry Osborn instead of making Harry like the friend that becomes a bad guy for like the third time, do like an Eddie Brock that's Peter's friend but then becomes his enemy story arc.
This Ned from the MCU will never become a villain.
Oh my! If yeah, don't do Ned like as Hobgoblin, please don't.
No, it has to be two, either of these two: the original Roger Kingsley or Jason McAdoo. Nobody else. Not even Phil Eric. Okay, no, like no. It has to be. I go with the original, but yeah, Hobgoblin's a great choice. I like Mark Hamill. I like love Mark Hamill's voice of Hobgoblin. I didn't. I was like watching Spider Man back in the '90s. I was listening to Hobgoblin's voice. I'm like, he sounded awfully familiar, like the Joker from the animated series. And I'm like, then I checked. I'm like, oh my god, it is Mark Hamill. That's awesome. Did he have you noticed that, George? He has the same voice. Like Hobgoblin's voice
Yeah,
in the anime series, is the same as the Joker.
yeah.
It was great. I like that crossover. I like the crossover when Hobgoblin was in the X-Men crossover, the animated series. And that's when that guy turned to half human, half like monster.
Oh,
Remember?
then like for like the rest of the anime series, he was like Two Face.
Pretty much. And he was like
Yeah,
Kingpin
like
after, yeah. He is their version of Two Face. I forgot who he was. What's his name?
I forget his name, but it's like I was like, this reminds me of Two Face.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy. And, oh, what about Spider Slayer? Uh, Smith. Smite.
Oh, especially because Jameson, like in this universe, is very antagonistic, and he
Yeah.
has connections to not just Scorpion but the Spider Slayers.
Hmm. Like I almost forgot about him. Then I was thinking of the animated series. I'm like, then I remembered Smythe. Yeah.
Oh, it reminds me of this like No Way Home leak that I remember like back in like January of 2021 where they said No Way Home was going to be this ultra long movie and at the beginning of the film Jameson was going to send the Spider Slayers after Peter Parker before the multiverse stuff happened. Like it was like what is this movie where it's like the first where it's like the first like part of it's like Spider Slayer stuff and like I don't know. They're saying Mysterio was faked his death and was gonna return, and like the MCU Norman Osborn was gonna be played by Willem Dafoe. It was like this real weird like leak.
I mean, the Mysterio stuff I couldn't believe. I could believe because Mysterio has a mess, could do kind of stuff, could deceive you. But yes, yeah. I mean, like, let's be honest. Nobody knows what Marvel's really doing. Like, there's been so many rumors about their slate changing over and over the next few years. It's like It's like Marvel's in a mess right now. They don't know what they don't have a concrete plan. They just at Comic Con they just announce when this date this movie comes out or when this show comes out. It's it's not Warner Brothers because they actually go through this stuff, but it is Warner Brothers in a sense. They're just announcing stuff, but I have no idea when they're gonna when stuff's gonna come out because they will make this. They will get the stuff made. It's just
Uh, I,
it's they're because you could tell they're rushing. You could tell they're rushing the multiverse saga.
now they're trying to like squeeze stuff in.
Yeah,
So
like Phase 4 has so much shit in that phase. Like,
that really doesn't connect outside of like No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness.
but they had a lot of movies and shows. Phase 4 had like what? 2021 was Phase 4 basically started, right? Because 2020 was the last year for Marvel. So they had like 4 Disney Plus shows in 2021. I remember that. They had 4 Disney Plus shows. I think they had 4 movies. Black Widow, Eternal, Shang-Chi, and No Way Home.
Yeah.
And then, so that's 8. And then last year, they had 3 movies. That's 11. 3 TV shows, which is 14. And they had 2 specials, which is 16. 16 stuff. 16 adaptations of anything in 2 years. That's a lot. That's a lot. Now, this year alone, we know it's going to be 6 with 3 movies and 3 shows.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
That's a guaranteed. From what I see, from what I read also from those rumor leaks about the years and the adding these movies and switching around the movies and stuff. I heard but I read, I think you read it too, that there might be cutting back on the Disney Plus shows.
Which I think is actually a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I feel like that's played a role in the focus kind of no longer being on the movies as much.
And here's the thing. This is a really, 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 really hot take. They say James Gunn gets DC running off the ground. Superman does really well, and we'll see other DC movies. But if Batman 2 does really, really well, people are going to be like, and if the DC stuff does really, really well, and there's better writing, better storytelling, and stuff like that, people will be like, you're going to see Marvel and be like, yeah, this is not good anymore. DC will turn the tide. That's a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Yeah,
but the Batman stuff
really
again.
good. Yeah,
because the Batman was the best comic movie. Well, I'll say this: the best comic book adaptation of the year of 2022.
It was.
And they didn't need any action. I mean, they had a little bit of action, but did not need the action. What made that movie so great was the storytelling, cinematography, and I think the soundtrack. And the thing is, Marvel relied, like Thor: Love and Thunder, they relied on the soundtrack, but they relied on like a soundtrack that's not even meant for the movie. It's like the actual soundtrack from actual bands and like stuff like that, where they didn't create their own music for their own. That's the thing with Thor, though. Thor tends to do that, right? The Thor movies don't really have their own music.
At least, like as far as I know, at least like with like Ragnarok, like they relied on like another song to like get people hyped.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a great movie, but still, it was that first trailer. Like, I feel like if it wasn't that song, I wouldn't have been as hyped.
Yeah, and it was. That movie's I know there's a lot of people that liked it. There's a lot of people that liked it. Some people in our community. I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. I'll say this. I didn't hate it. Okay? I didn't hate it. It's not. It's better. I'll say this. It's better. Like, I like Black Adam, but I still think it's better than Black Adam.
Oh, man, Black Adam.
And I like Black Adam. It's just that the Batman, like this year of 2022, the Batman. I know Degrassi loves the Batman too. I know you do. The Batman just. that one scene that gravitated towards me. What made Batman so great was when the Penguin was upside down in his car and you saw from his view, it's a Batman just walking towards him. That's Batman, man. And then it, it's, it's just everything around Batman. And look. I think the next Batman, he might have to do more action, but as long as the story is good. No, George didn't see Last of Us.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to see it in time for tomorrow. TV shows, I don't prioritize like series as I do movies.
You
Like
gotta see it. It's really good.
yeah, no, like I'll probably watch it later this week.
I
It's
know.
just like television series and like limited series. I don't really prioritize it as much. I think the last two that I did prioritize were like Obi-Wan and Peacemaker.
Are you gonna do Mando?
Oh, Mando, yeah, Mando. I'm definitely gonna probably like see right away.
Yeah, March 1st. Let's.
I mean,
Did you play the game?
I've gotten half the game done.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
Well, you can still join the spoiler stream then, because if you played half the game.
The thing is, with it's like when I play a game and then I get a new game, I stop playing that game.
I know how you feel.
Game. So it's like the last time like I made any progress on The Last of Us was like a few years ago during the pandemic. Oddly enough, I don't know. It was something about like Geeks and Gamers going to war against Naughty Dog that made me want to play The Last of Us again. And then like I stopped playing it like because like I was just more into playing Spider-Man PS4 for like the third time. I like playing The Last of Us. It's just like I know I got to be in the mood to like play it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I love it, but I got to be in a certain mood.
Yeah. Same. But
I know that's weird that like a controversy like that made me want to like replay the game, but it was like I don't know. It was just like something about it. Like the year 2020 was something. I'll say that.
2020, yes, man. I played a lot of video games in 2020 because there was nothing else to do.
I mean, I watched a lot of movies and played a lot of video games.
Yeah. It was a year to be really lazy because that's all you could do.
I mean, like, to be fair, though, the one thing I'll take away from the pandemic, I got into, like, Kevin Smith's movies, so.
Yeah, you have to try to find a hobby. It was really, really hard. 2020 was really, really hard. It had some good games. Yes, it did.
And also, 2020 was the year I discovered Max.
Me too.
Like, because I really didn't have anything else to watch after the movies and playing the games.
I discovered Max when they talked about. I discovered Enosh when the Yay Fisher stuff from Jody, and then Max started talking. Max made a video on it, and that's how I discovered Max.
How I discovered Max was through his videos on Jeremy. Because here's the thing: at that point, I had been 100% disillusioned with the Phantom Menace. I was like, "Is anyone calling this stuff out? Like, am I the only one?"
I actually did. I actually was subscribed to the Quartering.
And then, like, I saw like Max's content, and when he was in a certain order, which I'm not gonna mention.
I know you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, no, that's how I discovered Max, and now like 3 years later, I'm working with him on his channel.
Yeah.
That weird how things turn out.
And Max, he's very dedicated to his. I'll say that he's very dedicated to his channel. He streams every night, well, mostly every night. And he's like, maybe his weakness is being too nice, being too open. Because there's. Really?
I'm still Doomcock.
Oh, you know what? I discovered Doomcock on Enosh's channel when he did Tuesdays of Nonsense I'm like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
I've always known who Doomcock was. I knew a lot of these Phantom Menace guys before I knew Max. Well, I
Trying to get
didn't.
to the Snyder dollar.
I mean, I don't like know them, but like I used to watch them.
I was subscribed to the quartering, then I unsubscribed to him.
You
uh,
know, I feel embarrassed that I was once like subscribed to like some of these guys. I used to watch them.
oh yeah.
Yo,
Oh,
sometimes like before Max's streams on Fridays, I'll check out like Friday Night Frolics and I'll hear like Doomcock singing and I'll be like, what is wrong?
yes, yes, yes. Doomcock singing.
Like
Yes.
I'll never forget the time Doomcock failed to get any momentum from the Snyder fans.
Oh yeah. Yes. I remember that.
Because like I remember like he was saying the Batman is going to be a train wreck. This is not like Ben Affleck. That is the true Dark Knight.
Let's- Oh, and Barbara Parrish and Zoe Kravitz, they made
Yeah.
love on the Batmobile.
And I think he was trying to again try to get the Snyder fans by capitalizing on the Henry Cavill thing. The only thing is like Doom, and this is where Snyder fans are more extreme than Doomcock. Doomcock's like for some reason would not go hard on James Gunn. He was like trying to make it seem like David Zaslav was the bad guy, not Gunn. And you know, Snyder fans, the rule in the Snyder fandom is James Gunn's the enemy.
Like James
So
Gunn's the one to fire Snyder.
yeah, like where Doomcock, he seemed very hesitant to go after Gunn, but I remember Doomcock made a video like saying like his feel good movies and Guardians
Did
of the
you
Galaxy
watch?
was one of them.
Did you watch Max's video today?
On James Gunn.
Yeah,
Listen, I love Max. I
I
don't
didn't
know.
watch it, but I saw the comments.
I,
I
I
didn't
don't
want to.
I don't know. I'm like this James Gunn thing. Like I don't know if it's
James
something.
James Gunn doesn't have to say to cancel Snyderverse. That's really Zaslav.
Yeah, it's really Zaslav. Imagine if like James Gunn came out and said, you know, I was thinking of continuing these characters, but David Zaslav wanted a reboot.
Remember, like Sean Wark said on this stream not too long ago. He has a friend that works at Netflix. It says Netflix is being more diligent in taking on projects and spend a lot of money because of the financial issues. So
Yeah, they got a lot of financial problems.
they're not gonna put 200 to 300 million each for Justice League 2 and 3. I'm sorry, that's a fact. You're not. You're not gonna put 400 or 600 million for two movies. I'm sorry. Snyder fans, I'm sorry. You guys are delusional. There's other movies out there. Get a life. Stop being idiots. Stop being homophobic and racist. Because a lot of them are. I know a lot of them are right now. Like a lot of them are really not good people.
Well, I don't know if you saw earlier today in Isaac's group chat. I announced my candidacy for president.
I did see that.
So,
Where did you take that? Where did you take that picture?
It was at this museum in New York City that has an Oval Office that looks exactly like the Oval Office.
Is that today?
No, that was yesterday.
Oh, because you have the day off. Oh,
Yeah, no. Today I actually did go to work today because like some kids, go to program because their parents are either still working or they just don't want to deal with their children on the day off.
it's like get rid of these. They want to get rid of their kids.
So like, anyways, yeah, no, like I said, like, okay, it's my candidacy. We're gonna bring the Batgirl movie back. We're gonna cancel Velma.
No, they're gonna squeal at season 2 apparently.
Hayden was one upping me though by saying like all the stuff with like like holding Zach accountable.
I'm telling you, I don't have confidence in Rebel Moon, and I only think Blind Braille has no confidence in Rebel Moon.
This is what like listen, I'm not Zach. Listen, I'm a Zack Snyder fan, but it's like Army of the Dead was just not good.
No,
It's like Snyder fans hype up that movie more than his actually really, really
He
good
doesn't.
zombie Dawn of the Dead, which was
it's-
actually really good.
The story was bad. The acting was bad. I'm sorry. I know Batista's gotten much better at acting, but he was terrible in that movie as an actor. As but not just him, not everybody else. And what pisses me off about this movie is these freaking zombies. Zombies are not supposed to be robots, for one. There's no such thing as a zombie robot because robots don't technically die and they're not living things. So don't call them a zombie. It doesn't make any sense. That's just stupid. Zack Snyder should research what a zombie is. And zombies getting in a pregnant baby zombie. Hello, they're dead. Organs can't work if they're dead.
And like the other thing is like that rescue mission turned out to be pointless.
Yes, it's a
Like
terrible movie. I don't know if he
like
wrote the movie. It's terrible. It's
like the
terrible.
character Gita like died for nothing.
It's it's a really bad movie. I mean, and I'm telling you, I don't think the Army of the Dead universe is ever gonna get made.
It's like I said, it's mind boggling how people think that movie is better than Dawn of the Dead, which is actually a really good zombie
Can we
movie.
can we stop promising a universe based on a movie that hasn't been seen yet? Based that hasn't been seen yet. Like, oh, Netflix, we're gonna plan an Army of the Dead universe before the first movie comes out. Make a decision before the first movie comes out and see how it does. Stop doing that. Stop committing to something before something the beginning of that universe comes out. The first film of that universe comes out. Please wait till after. Okay, wait till after, please. You know, at least when one movie in and it's not been done well, at least you can decide, yeah, we're not gonna do the universe.
This is where Zach's flaw is, and I know Matt Jarbo has brought it up. Zach just does not know how to say no to a paying customer.
Who, Max?
No, Matt Jarbo. He
Oh,
once said like Zach will never say no. So like Zach will never like say this is not gonna happen. And it's gotten to a point where it's like he will not even hold his own fans accountable.
of course he won't. And newsflash: nobody uses Vero. Like, who would? I'm sorry, but Netflix is like, see, I can see why they want to do another Glass Onions movie. They could decide not to do a third Glass Onions movie, but the second one is received very well. It's doing very well. It was doing very well, so I can see what we're going for a third movie. Like, don't I'm just saying, don't commit to a universe before Oh, I heard that before the first movie comes out and see how people view the movie. And to me, I know the other Army of Thieves are pretty much good, but to me, Army of the Dead does not warrant a universe. And we'll see how Rebel Moon does. I know 1 and 2 are coming out. That's for sure thing because they're filming 2, so that's probably gonna definitely come out. So, and if 1 and 2 don't are not don't receive well by the consumer, I don't think Netflix will go through with 3 and 4 because you know what Netflix is with the content, right? If something is not if it's not viewed well, they're gonna be like, "No, we're not gonna continue this. We're gonna cancel this shit."
You know what I can see though? I can see people in the Phantom Menace hyping
Yes,
up Rebel Moon just to like one up like
but
Lucasfilm.
but you
I
don't
can
know
see them
anything.
like hyping it up and saying, "Look how cool this
But it's a
is."
female lead, George. You're gonna turn on Rebel Moon as a female
But
lead.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I can see the Phantom Menace not wanting to pick a fight with Snyder Bros. That I think because here's the thing. It's gone to a point where
um,
certain Snyder fans have become more extreme
here's
than people in the Phantom Menace.
here's the thing. If you watch some of Snyder's films, I know a lot of people say it makes women look strong, but he actually kind of made them look weak. There's some bunch of scenes where in some of his films where the R word is involved, you know,
Yeah,
He's not
I get
exactly
what
the
you're
best for women.
as much as I like Dawn of the Dead, the one thing that always makes me feel
Yes,
comfortable is when they're giving birth to like when she's a zombie and she's giving birth and like
and he has a fascination with the R word in his movies, and I'm not talking about, and I'm talking about ones with grape. I'm talking
yeah,
about that word.
I knew what you were talking about
Yeah,
even before you said that.
he did. Have you noticed in some of his movies there's a fascination with that word? With that,
It's weird.
yeah. I know Blind Bill notices it too. I know you do, Blind Bill. And I'm looking forward to this, man. Give me this, Beverly Hills Cop, man. Give me it, man. I'm gonna enjoy that. It's gonna be a hell of a movie. Axel Foley, yeah, I'm looking for that. But yeah,
What in the world just happened here?
what's up, Max's
Oh no,
stream?
no, I'm looking at my phone. Apparently, I have no network connection on my phone. That's weird. Oh, I know. Like, no. I think things have toned down on that stream.
Who's still on it?
Um,
It's
in the
Terrible streaming.
chat or in the stream.
Streams. Terrible streaming tonight.
I have no idea. I know he's still on Max's stream. I think the only ones that are still there besides Max and Jarbo are Justin, Anthony, CJH, Caden, and Blue Jay.
Oh, that's all right.
Right? No. It was like the chat where like I think things were acting weird.
Well, but I'm gonna end it here, and then we could talk a little bit after backstage if you want.
Yeah, I can tell you about it backstage.
Okay. So yeah, thank you for all listening, guys. Everybody in the chat. I'll be here tomorrow. Blind Bro will be joining me, and anybody else is free to join me. We're talking about Last of Us Episode 1 spoiler review. So make sure you see an episode first. And also, if you played the game, you played the whole game, you could join. I guess you technically could join too and watch. And unless you don't mind being spoiled, you could watch. But it's up to you, really. But that's tomorrow. Belmo will join me. And subscribe to George's channel over here is in the chat.
Yeah, and I think tomorrow I plan on reviewing my review of Dogma, the most controversial Kevin Smith movie. And when I get home from work, I think I'll post it because because more people pay attention to videos after 6 o'clock. So be sure to check that out. And maybe I'll do a stream later in the week on Spider-Man 4 in the MCU and what I would like to see. And we can continue more of these Spider-Man talks on there.
Yeah. So yeah, make sure to check that out on George's channel, guys. Once again, like, share, subscribe, comment, and join me tomorrow for Last of Us Episode 1 split review. Take care, guys.
Later.